Hi guys, my name is Becca, and today I have my last update of the new Symmetrical Readathon. It's the last reading update. It's the last day, and it's like 12:30. I'm not going to attempt to read another book. It's just not going to happen. I read 5 books this week, and I'm really happy with that. And so I just decided I'm not going to try and attempt to read another book. So we're just going to do this update now because it's the perfect time. And I just finished the last book, so it works for that. I didn't hit my goal of 36. Didn't see that happening at all, so it was perfectly fine. I didn't hit a goal of 30, which again is perfectly fine. I wanted to try and strive for that, but it didn't happen. I'm not really upset about it. I read a lot of books this month, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I think I did hit the goal of 25 though. Not entirely sure, but I'll let you know in my wrap up. I just wanted to bring one thing up again. So my last reading update, I'm pretty sure I mentioned how I really like doing these reading updates and how I want to make them a weekly thing. So I'm going to, like every Sunday, I'm going to do a weekly reading update and talk about all the books that I read that week, and then I'll do one wrap up at the end of the month and just quickly go over those books again and just, you know, show you the book and my rating and if I liked it or, you know, that kind of thing. But mostly I'll be talking about them in the reading updates. I just really like doing that, and I think that's just how it's going to happen from now on. So yeah, the mid-month wrap-up and final wrap-up at the end of the month just wasn't really working for me. I like the idea of it, and at first I thought it was working, but I realized that I hated separating all of the books. I like having one video talking, like just showing all of the books at the end of the month that I've read, and I really hate separating them completely. So I think you might have noticed that in one of my last videos. I think I did try at one of my end of the month wrap-ups where I try to show all the books, especially if like there's a readathon and everything. I like to show those books off at the end of the month. So I just really like the idea of these, and I think this is just how it's going to happen. So like I said, I read 5 books this week, and let's get on with that. We're going to talk about them. So first, I read Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd installment of the DC Icon series. The first one being Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. The second one being Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. And the third one obviously being Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas. The 4th one comes out next year, and it's Superman Dawnbreaker by Matt De La Pena. Yes. And I am interested in seeing how that one goes. I've never read a novel by Matt De La Pena. I don't even know if he has a novel. I've read like a short story in an anthology somewhere. I don't remember which one at all. But I do remember his name, and I do remember reading something by him. I don't remember if I liked it or not, so we'll see how it goes. I've never read a novel by him or anything, so I don't know if I like his writing style or anything like that. So we'll just see how it goes next year when that comes out. But those are the only 4 that we know of so far. They might do more. I don't know. I would like if they do more. I love DC. I've always loved DC. Yeah, the DCEU that's going on now is not exactly the greatest it can be. Oh God, no. But I have always preferred DC over Marvel. Now, I prefer Marvel movies over DC, and I prefer DC shows over Marvel. So I loved the animated series, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, growing up. I used to watch those all the time, and just reading these really makes me think about those again, especially when I read Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. She did mention that she used to watch Batman the Animated Series, and I could definitely see that when I was reading her book. So I don't know if Sarah J. Maas ever did, but I could see it kind of in this. So, like I said, this is Catwoman Soul Stealer. It follows, obviously, Selena Kyle, who is Catwoman. She has, for the last couple years, she's been training with the League of Assassins, which I thought was fantastic. She's been training with them for the last couple years, and she has now just come back to Gotham City to rob them. She's going to put on her persona as Catwoman and rob the city blind with the help of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, which, yes, they are my trio, and I am so happy. Another perspective you get in here is Luke Fox, who is Lucius Fox's son. He has just come back from war, and he is suffering from PTSD. So Bruce Wayne and Lucius Fox both think that to help Luke with his PTSD, they would train him. Bruce would train him, and train him. Bruce would train him to maybe become a vigilante, which he did. Now he's Batwing. Yeah, he's Batwing. I've never heard of Batwing before in my life, but okay. So obviously Catwoman and Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn are robbing the city, and Batwing is having a tough time capturing them and stopping them. So, yeah. Obviously I loved Catwoman, and I loved all of her chapters, and anytime it was just Catwoman, I was perfectly fine. Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, I love them, and I love that Sarah J. Maas explored the relationship between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn in this. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Batwing, on the other hand, was not somebody I cared about whatsoever. Especially when it started, like, a friendship/relationship kind of started developing between our two characters. Didn't necessarily like that. Look, I'm just gonna say, because I watched the Batman animated series when I was growing up, my favorite ship of all time, at least with Catwoman, will always be Batman. Sorry. And Batman is not in the city, hence why Catwoman has come back to the town to rob them blind, because Batman is nowhere to be found. Oh, well, Batman's on his own mission, and he's nowhere in Gotham, so it's a perfect time to rob the city. I loved Catwoman, I loved Poison Ivy, and I loved Harley Quinn. I did not like Batwing. It's just, he's the only character I did not like in this entire book, and he's like our secondary main character, so it just, I would have loved this more if he was not someone I had to, like, alternate chapters with. I loved Catwoman. And I think this is the only book that's done that. Wonder Woman, I believe, is just straight Diana, and Batman was just straight Bruce Wayne. So here we have the first time where it's not just straight Selena Kyle, it's got Luke Fox too. Which, at times he was fine, but overall, at least as Batwing, it was not believable to me. I'm sorry. It just was not believable. And, yeah. So, I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy it. Again, Batwing is aside. But yeah, I really did enjoy it, and I am really happy with how this turned out, and I'm so happy that I read this, and I love Sarah J. Maas so much, and I love all of her books, and her writing, and her characters. I just love it. And yeah, I gave this 4 stars, and again, I'm excited to see how Superman goes, so yeah. So, next up is a book I don't have. I read this on Scribd. I read Nora Roberts, a biography by Susan something. I lost the freaking name. Okay, and of course I'm using my phone to, record. So, I don't have her name. Susan something. I'll probably just put it down below on the description. This is 35 pages of just, like, facts about Nora Roberts, and mostly they were kind of interesting. Not completely. Like, there are times that it kept reiterating. It's just 35 pages of Nora Roberts, just facts about her life and her writing and stuff like that, and there were some things that were interesting. I really liked learning how she chose the name for her pseudonym, J.D. Robb. I really liked learning that, and I liked learning some other things, but overall, I just felt like it really wasn't needed. Like, you could just Google all of this, really. It would have been a lot better if it was an autobiography, if Nora Robertson wrote it herself. It put a lot of more personal touches in there. I would have liked it a lot more, at least. And yeah, I give this like 2 stars. Again, it wasn't needed. It was just stuff you could find on Google, but here it is, just in book form. Yeah. So, yeah, really wasn't needed. Next up, I have the book that I did not think I would actually be reading this week, but I did. I squeezed it in, and that is Reign of Shadows by Sophie Jordan. This is a like dark Rapunzel retelling. Rapunzel is, well, not Rapunzel. Our main character is Luna. Luna was born on the eclipse. So the day she was born, a eclipse cloaked the kingdom. And these beings called, like, these monster-like things called the Dwellers came and have just been plaguing the, the world since. For 17 years, this eclipse has not left. You get, like, an hour of sun, not even sun, they call it midlight. They don't call it sunlight. Because I don't think the sun is still, there's no sun. There's an eclipse. There's no sun. So you get, like, an hour of midlight, and that's it. And our main character, Luna, is the princess of the Kingdom of Relok, and she was carried away after, the day she was born, after the kingdom was put as cloaked in the eclipse, because her family was killed that day, and so she was taken to this tower that her father had found, and she has been there ever since. But she feels like this tower is a prison to her because she cannot leave. The people who have been taking care of her, which I cannot remember, I think it's Perla and Silvo, I think. Perla and Silvo, I think. Silvo, I know, was a guard in the King's Army. I think he might have been, like, captain of the guard. Not entirely sure about that. And then I think Perla was, like, a lady's maid or the wet nurse or something like that. Sorry, I'm blanking on this. And one day, Luna hears screams, and so she decides to leave the tower and goes to find out where these screams are coming from. She finds these 3, oh god. See, I don't want to call them kids, because they're not kids. She finds 3 people, 1 girl, 2 guys, and she brings them back to the tower. And then that's really all I'm going to say, because there's a lot that happens throughout this book, but it's actually, okay, so the reason I got this is because Kristen over at Super Space Chick loved this book. She really liked the darkness of it, and she really liked it. And I wanted to pick it up because she said it was a dark retelling of Rapunzel, which I can see, and I really like that. And overall, I really liked this book. Did not think I would. It's been so long since I've gotten it, and I kept putting it off for years that I just didn't read it, and now, like, I put this on my TBR for this month, but I did not think I would actually get to it. And I actually put it on my TBR for the 12 of 2018, and I didn't think I would get to it, but I did, and I actually enjoyed it. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I did try and listen to the audiobook as well, because that's on Scribd. I don't necessarily recommend the audiobook. It's, okay, so this is told in alternating chapters. We have Luna, and then we have one of the guys she finds, Fowler. So we have both of their alternating chapters, and in the audiobook, each alternating, like, Luna is voiced by a woman, and Fowler is voiced by a man. But then when you get the character, like, each chapter is told by a different, is narrated by a different one of the other. But what I didn't like is that they each had their own take on other people's voices. Like, it would have been fine if the voices, like, the female voices were narrated by the female, and the male voices were narrated by the male, because I just felt like I kept hearing different versions of people's voices, and I really wasn't like into it, so I didn't necessarily like the audiobook, but I really did enjoy this. I did like the darkness of it, and I believe it's only a duology. Rise of Fire, the sequel, I believe is the conclusion, so I am really looking forward to how it goes. It does have cliched tropes and everything, but I felt like it worked for this book, and I actually really liked it. So if you're looking for like a dark Rapunzel retelling, I definitely say to pick this up, because I really liked it. So yeah. And then next we have Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. This is a villain origin story for the Sea Witch. We follow Evie, our main character. She has two best friends. We have Nick and Anna. Evie is a witch. Nick is a crown prince, and Anna died 4 years ago. So Evie and Nick are dealing with their griefs still. They're trying to move on every day since then, but you know, it's not easy. They lost their best friend years ago, and it's still hard for them now. And then one day Nick is thrown overboard of his ship, and he's drowning, and he's brought to land by this mermaid, and yeah, he's rescued by the mermaid, and then this new girl pops up with, you know, her name is N.E.W.T.S, and you know right away she's a mermaid. Doesn't matter. She looks an awful lot like their dead friend Anna. That's really all I'm going to say about this, other than the fact that I didn't like it. I gave this 2 stars. I did not like the magic style. I just was like, what the frick? Like, what's happened? Like, I didn't understand the magic system at all in this. I didn't really like any of the characters. I just really wasn't liking it, and I didn't like the fact that here we have another Little Mermaid story again. Like, I thought this is just going to be about Ursula. Well, not Ursula, but, you know, like an Ursula-like character, the Sea Witch, and how she became the Sea Witch. And technically it really was, but I didn't really want the Little Mermaid story told again. And literally told again. Though that was like the first half. The second half, it did show you why it needed to happen. But by that time I was still like, no, this isn't for me. I did really, really enjoy the epilogue though. That was it. So yeah, I gave this 2 stars, and really upset by that. I love the cover, and I love the premise, but I did not really like it, and I know a lot of people actually didn't really like it. There was only like one time I actually heard a positive comment. The rest of them are all negative, so yeah, 2 stars. And lastly, I have Heart of Thorns by Brie Barton. I was so happy that I was able to read this, and this is about Mia, who has been raised all her life and trained all her life to hunt these beings called the Girak, and they are females with magic. Technically, they're saying they have they're half girl, half god, which, you know, I don't know for sure, but yeah, they're the beings called the Girak. They're just females with magic, and Mia has been trained all her life to hunt them. Her father is a hunter, and he wanted her to follow in his footsteps. But one day, he kind of pulls the rug out from under her and tells her she's going to marry the crown prince instead, and she's just, you know, going to be his wife and his queen, and that's the life she's going to live, and that's not what she wants at all. So on the eve of her wedding, she's plotting her escape when she finds out that she has powers. She has magic. She is one of these Girak that she has been trained to hunt all her life. Okay. I loved the first half. Possibly even the first 75%. I was really, really enjoying it. I was liking the humor, I was liking the characters, I was liking the world, I was liking pretty much everything. I was liking the writing. I was liking pretty much everything. Until you get to the last 25%, where I just felt everything went to shit. I did not like the ending. I didn't appreciate anything that was happening. I kind of called everything that was going to happen. I kind of saw a lot of it coming. There were some things I didn't see coming, but, you know, most of it I did. And the stuff that I didn't see coming wasn't really shocking. I just didn't really like the end whatsoever, which is funny, because Sea Witch, which I really wasn't liking the book at all, I really loved the epilogue, where in this, I loved the book until the end. Yeah. So, I think this might be a series. I think there might be at least one other book. I don't know for sure, but the way it ended definitely seemed like a cliffhanger to me. I still kind of want to see where this goes. I do. I have to know what happens in the next book, but I didn't like the ending. So from what could have been, okay, this is what it was, okay? First 25%, it's looking like a 5-star read. Then the next 50% is looking like a 4-star read. Okay. Then you get the last 25%, and it goes straight to a 3-star. And I'm only giving it 3 stars because I was really, really liking the first 75%. But yeah, really, really disappointed by these two, and very surprised by this one. But I think overall my favorite of the week has to be Catwoman. So, yeah, that was, those are all the reads that I read this month, or, well, this week. And then the two that I definitely want to start for sure, is Justin Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina, which I found early. If you watched my book haul, you know I found this at Barnes & Noble very early, and I'm so happy that I did. It doesn't even come out until Tuesday, guys. I have this so early. So I'm definitely starting this tonight. And then tomorrow starts the buddy read of God's Grave with Julie over Pages and Pens. So I definitely want to start this possibly tonight. So we'll see. So yeah, these are the 2 books I'll be reading or starting tonight, and these are the 5 books, well, 4 that I have that I read, oh god, I did that wrong, that I read this week. So, yeah. That was my update for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy reading. Bye.